The Sun Devils hit the road again for Game 2 in the Pacific Northwest, taking on Oregon State, Corvallis. Kent, I know it's one of your favorite places to go visit this time of year as you think about Oregon State and ASU. And yes, ASU has had some success up there, but this is a very interesting place to play, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I like Corvallis. I haven't been there in years, but my first trip, I remember I was going with this guy. He was going to go get coffee at the 24-hour convenience store, and he came back with no coffee. I said, "What's up?" He goes, They don't open till 7 a.m." So that's my Corvallis story. But yeah, it's that's a long trip again for ASU after going to Seattle last weekend. You don't know what the elements are going to be. Oregon State, kind of like ASU, you're not really sure what you're going to get week to week, although ASU seems to have leveled out. So I'm very curious about this game. I don't know which way I'm going to go.
Michelle, I mean, things are trending in the right direction for the Sun Devils. Do they keep that momentum moving forward this weekend?
We'll see. I mean, Greg and I sat next to each other in the press box, and when they're down 14-0 last week, we're like, okay, what could go wrong next? And this was definitely not headed in the right direction. Somehow they stayed the course, found a way to stay in it, got enough yards, started moving the ball, and lo and behold, they win the game. So I think from a resiliency standpoint, it was a great showing on ASU's part to kind of weather the elements early, pun intended, and get to kind of where they had a chance to win the game. And I think that was a huge win for them just from a confidence standpoint. A lot of talk about playing in the Pacific Northwest, playing in the elements. They braved that and they got through it and they got the W.
Greg, where do you feel like this ASU team is right now heading into this game?
Man, ASU is an athletic team. They dug themselves a real hole, and not to hoot and holler about it too much, but that guy, Rachaad White, man, he is something else. I mean, that guy, I think ASU had 24 first downs and White had 17 of them. Listen, Oregon State's got a revamped defense. Just read today that they've got an interim defensive coordinator. I believe this is his second game. And so we don't really know what to expect from Oregon State on that side of the ball. I also read that Oregon State is eligible for a bowl for the first time since 2013. This is amazing where these two programs are based on what the expectations were at the beginning of the year. I honestly thought ASU was going to be looking at fighting for a Rose Bowl, and kind of they are. And I thought Oregon State was going to be looking for a new coach, and that's clearly not the case. I'm with Kent and Michelle. I cannot wait to watch.
And Kent, this offense for the Sun Devils behind Rachaad White, gosh, I mean, it seems unstoppable. I know, it's not that way, but boy, what an athlete this kid is.
Yeah, he's special. I think any of us who saw he and Chip Trainum when they came in and got to see him a little bit, thinking, okay, that's two NFL caliber backs, and I still think Chip Trainum is too. But Rachaad White is, like Greg said, he's special, and he's built for the NFL. Physically, his game's built for the NFL. He can catch the ball. He's a big play waiting to happen. He's tough. I think ASU's done what it's had to do offensively to succeed, is to hand him the ball behind a pretty good offensive line that can run block. With the struggles in the pass game, Jane Daniels' accuracy, lack of a receiver stepping up to be go-to guys, they've kind of morphed into what they have to be. And if they can play good defense and not fall behind in this game, they got a real shot at Oregon State.
Kent, you talk about ASU morphing. I thought they were like Nebraska in 95. I thought they were going to just line up in a wishbone and just run the option. Jaden was running the ball. Rachaad was running the ball. That running attack that's going to have to be what they ride from here forward. But they really have found something, I think.
And you and Michelle will be all behind that, right? Saturday night, you always root for that quick game. Run the ball. Let's go.
Run the ball.
Michelle.
Well, you look at that one drive, and Greg and I were sitting next to each other. That 20 play 9 minutes off the clock in the fourth quarter was insane. And that's when you can run the ball. And I don't know if I've ever covered a game where I saw or even watched a game on TV where there was a 20-play drive.
I never even heard of it. That play, first of all, it should have been about 8 plays because Rachaad broke one for 47 yards. They had to call the thing back on a penalty. But I asked other reporters, we asked the players after the game. Nobody's heard of a 20-play drive. Kent, you've been around. Have you ever heard of a 20-play drive? Never heard of it.
I mean, I can't think of when I saw one. You look at a drive like that and you figure, okay, there have to be a couple of penalties, right, to make it 20 plays to get that many more chances. But I can't remember seeing it.
Michelle, on the defensive side for the Sun Devils, how will they fare against this Oregon State running attack, which is stellar? What does it look like for the Sun Devils?
Well, Mike Battus today, he might have been the most entertaining interview of the season so far for ASU. He's a defensive lineman, and he said they got to stop the run. He said there's no secret what Oregon State's going to do. And BJ Baylor is the number 1 running back in the conference. He's the only running back that's topped 1,000 yards so far. Now, he has been contained, if you want to call it that, the last 2 or 3 games. But their focus is on stopping the run, and they feel that if they can do that, they'll win the game. And ASU is the number 2 ranked run defense in the Pac-12. So, they got a shot. And they've also done a very good job against the other team's best running back. I think back to the UCLA game when they did a very, very good job on Zach Charbonnet from UCLA, who's very, very talented top back. So, I think that's going to be strength against strength here.
Well, it's going to be very interesting. Let's go to predictions here. Kent, we'll start with you. What do you think about this game Saturday night in Corvallis?
I think it's going to be a close one. I think ASU has kind of steadied itself since those 2 midseason losses. I still like Oregon State in this one, though. I think that's a well-coached team. Jonathan Smith, their head coach, he could be the next coach at Washington. He has experience there. That job's open. He's got connections to Southern California. I'm going to go Oregon State 28-24.
Okay, Michelle?
I'm close. I'm with you, Kent. I'm going 24-21 Oregon State. Not that I don't think ASU can win. I just think back-to-back road trips on successive weeks is a pretty tough thing to ask. So that's kind of the way I'm going. And I'm with you, Kent. I think Jonathan Smith is a phenomenal coach, and he gets the most out of the talent there. So that's where I'm leaning.
Greg, I see you looking out, pondering to the Pacific Ocean in your view there. What does the sea tell you today?
Michelle, what number does Rachaad White wear?
3.
3.
And Jaden wears 5. Let's go. 5 times 3 is 15. And Oregon State is bowl eligible for the first time since 2013. Let's go 15-13 Arizona State.
Very interesting. Okay.
Likes the defense.
He does. He all over that defense there. We'll find out Saturday night. Michelle and Greg will be there with all of our coverage at azcentral.com.